Alright, it's time to cook some bratwurst. We've got some Johnsonville beer and bratwurst here. Pretty standard bratwurst. Some Bud Light beer that we're going to use to kind of marinate it in. And of course we're going to throw some sauerkraut on there afterwards. But you want to get one of these pans like this. And we're going to put the bratwurst in there. We're going to poke them probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 times each side with the fork. Pour some beer on there to let them sit for about 30 minutes or so, and then we're going to throw them on the grill. Alright, so we've started doing the side here. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to poke as much as you possibly can. And what I mean by that is just to make sure you've got a lot of perforations in here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flip them over. Do the exact same thing on this side. And then we're going to take our Bud Light and we are going to pour it over this thing, cover them all the way up. And you're going to do both sides, like I said, with the fork and let them sit for about 30 minutes. So like I said, this is what you're after. You want to see them kind of fizzing like this. A lot of times I kind of poke them, flip them, do a little more action here. This is, I think, the crucial part to doing this. Of course, other than burning them. But I kind of play with them a little bit so that you make sure that as much beer gets in these things as possible before you put them on the grill. Alright, it's time to cook some bratwurst on the grill. So these guys have been marinating for about 45 minutes. The grill's hot. We've already brushed it off. What we're going to do is we're going to, this is the way I do this. Everything goes on low. You don't want it too hot. You do not want this over 400 degrees when you first start. So what ends up happening is the beer and the fat end up flaring everything up to the point where you burn everything almost instantly. So what I do is I like to have it around 350 to 380. Throw them on there in a diagonal. Let them just kind of sit there, chill out for a good 15 minutes, as low as your grill will go. About 15 minutes into this, and what you're going to want to do is just flip these bad boys over. But make sure, like that one, that's questionable. You don't want them too burnt. So we're going to switch these. Got a hot spot over there. Switch those up there. Keep them in the same spot. But notice, here's the point of cooking bratwurst, in my opinion. You don't want anything burnt. You want everything. You don't want any flame because there's a lot of fat in these things. That's because it's on low. A lot of people burn these things to crisps, or they undercook them and they're raw in the middle. We're at least at 15 minutes of cooking time on low. Alright, we are almost done. This is my favorite part of this process here. So what I do is, notice nothing is black, nothing is totally charred. I stack them together, I flip them around, squeeze them a little bit. Stick them in the cooler part of the grill here. Then I take some of the leftover beer, just a little bit, kind of douse it with it. I'm convinced that does something. I'll shut the grill down and I will turn every burner off and let them sit here for about another 5 minutes. Why, I have no idea. I just think the beer sits in there, gives it a little bit of extra flavor, and we'll get rid of that and they will be good to go. Alright, so here's our finished product. We squirted some golden spicy mustard on that bratwurst. Notice that it's not too burnt anywhere. I'm going to take some sauerkraut, coat it on the top, like that, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a sauerkraut bratwurst mustard grilled to perfection.